Lately, I keep thinking about 2026 and what I want my life to look like by then. Not in a perfect way, but in a realistic way. Where do I want to be living? What kind of work do I want to be doing every day? And most importantly, how do I want to feel when I wake up in the morning? I think 2026 sounds far, but when you really think about it, time moves very fast. That's why making plans now feels important.
I feel the same. When I hear 2026, it sounds like the future, but it's actually very close. And if you don't plan anything, you usually end up exactly where you are now. For me, 2026 is about stability. I want a more stable routine, better habits, and clearer goals. Not huge dreams like becoming famous, but simple things like being consistent, improving my skills, and feeling proud of my progress.
Yes, and I think many people misunderstand planning. They think planning means controlling everything. But for me, planning for 2026 is more about direction. It's like saying, I want to move forward, not stay stuck. Even if things don't go exactly as planned, at least you're moving. Without plans, days start to feel the same, and years pass without change.
Exactly. One of my biggest plans for 2026 is personal growth. That includes learning better English, communicating more confidently, and expressing my ideas clearly. I don't want to be afraid of speaking or sharing opinions anymore. I want to look back at 2025 and say, that's when I started taking myself seriously.
I love that. For me, 2026 is also about mindset. I want to stop rushing everything. Right now, many people want fast results. Fast success, fast money, fast happiness. But real change takes time. In 2026, I want to be someone who trusts the process. Someone who understands that slow progress is still progress.
Another thing I think about a lot is balance. By 2026, I want a better balance between work and rest. Not working all the time, but also not being lazy. A healthy balance. I want to work on my goals, but also enjoy simple moments like quiet mornings, good conversations, and time without stress.
That's such an important point. Many plans fail because people forget about balance. They burn out too fast. My plan for 2026 includes protecting my energy. Saying no more often. Choosing quality over quantity. Doing fewer things, but doing them better. I think that mindset alone can change everything.
And planning also helps with fear. When you don't have plans, fear grows. You start thinking, what if nothing changes? But when you have even a simple plan for 2026, fear becomes smaller. You feel more in control. Not because life is predictable, but because you are prepared.
Yes. And I also think 2026 plans don't have to be impressive to others. They just need to matter to you. Maybe your plan is to be healthier, calmer, or more confident. These are powerful goals. In 2026, I don't want to impress people. I want to feel aligned with myself.
Same here. If I could describe my 2026 plan in one sentence, it would be this: becoming a better version of myself, step by step, without comparing myself to others. That's the kind of future I want to build.
When I think about 2026, I don't imagine one big moment. I imagine my daily life. What time do I wake up? How do I start my morning? What kind of habits do I repeat every day without thinking? Because in the end, habits create the future. For 2026, my biggest plan is to build simple but strong habits. Not perfect routines, but realistic ones that I can actually follow.
I like that idea a lot. People talk about goals, but they forget habits. For me, 2026 is about discipline in small things. Waking up at a similar time every day, using my phone less, and focusing on one task at a time. Right now, life feels very noisy. In 2026, I want my days to feel calmer and more organized.
Yes, especially with phones and social media. One of my plans for 2026 is to have more control over my attention. I don't want to wake up and immediately scroll for 30 minutes. I want to start my day slowly, maybe with silence, maybe with a short walk or a cup of coffee without distraction. Small habits like this can change your whole mood.
Another habit I want to have in 2026 is learning every day, even just a little. Reading a few pages, listening to something useful, or practicing a skill. It doesn't need to be long. Even 15 minutes a day is powerful. When you do that for a year, the change is huge. I want 2026 to be a year where I feel mentally stronger.
I also think about health a lot. Not extreme diets or heavy workouts, but simple movement. Walking more, sitting less, and listening to my body. In 2026, I want to feel comfortable in my own body. Energy is very important. If you don't have energy, it's hard to enjoy anything else.
Sleep is a big part of that. One of my clear plans for 2026 is better sleep. Going to bed earlier, turning off screens at night, and respecting my rest. Many people underestimate sleep, but without good sleep, everything feels harder. I want to protect my nights as much as my days.
Another daily habit I want in 2026 is reflection. Taking a few minutes at the end of the day to think. What went well today? What didn't? What can I improve tomorrow? This kind of reflection helps you grow without being too hard on yourself. It's not about judging, it's about understanding.
I agree. Reflection makes life feel more meaningful. Without it, days just pass. In 2026, I don't want time to just disappear. I want to be present. Even on normal days. Especially on normal days.
And I think it's important to say this, habits don't need to be exciting. Most good habits are boring. But boring habits create a stable life. In 2026, I'm okay with boring if it means peace and progress.
Same here. My plan for 2026 is not chaos, not pressure, not rushing. It's structure, calm, and steady growth. And habits are the foundation of that life.
This year feels different to me. Not because everything suddenly changed, but because my mindset is changing. I don't want to live on autopilot anymore. This year, my main focus is awareness. Understanding how I spend my time, where my energy goes, and what actually makes me feel good. When you don't pay attention, weeks disappear. I don't want that anymore.
I feel that a lot. For me, this year is about clarity. I want fewer distractions and clearer priorities. I don't want to say yes to everything. I want to choose better. Choose what really matters. When you focus on too many things at the same time, you end up doing nothing well. This year, I want to do fewer things, but with more intention.
Exactly. And I think one big focus this year is consistency. Not motivation, not excitement, but consistency. Doing things even when I don't feel like it. Some days are boring, some days are hard, and that's normal. This year, I want to accept that and still show up.
Another important focus for me this year is patience. I used to expect fast results. When they didn't come, I felt disappointed. But now I understand that progress is slow and quiet. You don't always see it. This year, I want to trust small steps, even if the results are not visible yet.
I also want to focus on improving myself without comparing. Comparison kills motivation. This year, I don't want to look left and right all the time. I want to look forward. My journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's. If I'm better than I was last month, that's enough.
That's a great mindset. For me, this year is also about responsibility. Taking responsibility for my choices, my habits, and my time. Not blaming others, not blaming the system. Just asking myself, what can I do better today? Even small responsibility builds confidence.
And I think another big focus is learning to slow down. Everything moves very fast, but that doesn't mean we have to. This year, I want to move at my own pace. Rushing creates stress, and stress blocks creativity and growth.
Yes. This year, I want to feel more present. Not always thinking about the next thing. Just being where I am. When you are present, life feels fuller, even if nothing special is happening.
So if I had to describe my focus for this year in one sentence, it would be this: living more consciously, with intention, patience, and consistency.
And for me, this year is about building a strong foundation. Quietly, slowly, and without pressure.
This year, I've been thinking a lot about fear. Not big, dramatic fear, but small, quiet fear. The kind of fear that stops you from starting things. Sometimes I want to do something new, but my mind says, what if it doesn't work, or what if people judge me? This fear is not loud, but it's powerful. This year, I want to notice this fear instead of ignoring it.
I understand that very well. For me, fear shows up as doubt. Doubt about my skills, my ideas, and my decisions. Sometimes I ask myself too many questions and then do nothing. This year, I'm trying to change that. I want to accept that doubt will always exist, but it doesn't have to control me. Even with doubt, I can still take action.
Another struggle for me this year is overthinking. I think too much before I act. I plan, I imagine problems, and I wait for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment never comes. This year, I'm learning that action is more important than perfection. It's better to do something imperfectly than to do nothing perfectly in my head.
Yes, overthinking is a big problem for me too. Sometimes I replay conversations in my head or worry about things that haven't even happened. This takes a lot of energy. This year, I'm trying to stay more in the present moment. When I focus on what I can do right now, my mind feels lighter.
This year also taught me that mistakes are not the enemy. I used to be very hard on myself when I made mistakes. I felt embarrassed or disappointed. But now I see mistakes differently. They are information. They show me what works and what doesn't. This year, I want to be kinder to myself when I fail.
I like that way of thinking. For me, one of the biggest struggles this year is consistency when motivation is low. Some days I feel excited, and some days I feel tired. This year, I'm learning that motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Even small effort on a bad day is still progress.
Another fear I have this year is staying the same. Not growing, not changing. That fear actually pushes me forward. It reminds me that comfort can be dangerous. This year, I want to choose growth, even when it feels uncomfortable or scary.
And I think it's important to say that struggling doesn't mean failing. Struggle means you care. This year, I'm trying to accept my struggles as part of the process. Life is not smooth, and that's okay. What matters is continuing, even slowly.
So for me, this year is not about being fearless. It's about moving forward with fear. Listening to it, learning from it, but not letting it stop me.
Exactly. This year, I don't want a perfect life. I want an honest one. With fear, mistakes, and growth together.
When I think about the person I am becoming, I don't think about success or titles. I think about how I act in daily life. How I speak to people, how I treat myself, and how I handle difficult moments. This year, I want to become someone who is calmer. Someone who doesn't panic when things go wrong. I want to trust myself more, even when I don't have all the answers.
For me, becoming a better person means becoming more honest with myself. Not pretending that everything is fine when it's not. This year, I want to listen to my feelings instead of ignoring them. When I feel tired, I want to rest without guilt. When I feel excited, I want to follow that energy. Being honest with myself feels like real strength.
I also want to become someone who is consistent, not intense. In the past, I tried to change everything at once, and I failed. This year, I want slow change. Small steps, repeated every day. I want to build a life that I don't need to escape from. A life that feels stable and safe.
That's very important. I want to become someone who finishes what they start. Even if it takes time. Even if it's hard. This year, I want to stop quitting when things feel uncomfortable. I want to build confidence by keeping promises to myself.
Another thing I'm working on is letting go. Letting go of old mistakes, old versions of myself, and old expectations. I don't need to be who I was last year. I'm allowed to grow. This year, I want to move forward without carrying unnecessary weight.
I feel that deeply. I want to become someone who doesn't compare their journey to others. Everyone moves at a different speed. This year, I want to focus on my own path. When I stop comparing, I feel more peaceful and more motivated.
I also want to become someone who appreciates small moments. Not always waiting for big achievements. A quiet morning, a good conversation, a calm evening. These moments matter. This year, I want to notice them more.
And for me, becoming better also means becoming braver. Not fearless, but brave enough to try. Brave enough to speak, to share ideas, and to be seen. This year, I want to choose courage over comfort more often.
If I could describe the person I'm becoming in one sentence, it would be this: someone who moves forward with patience, self-respect, and intention.
And for me, it's this: someone who keeps going, even when the path is unclear.
That's enough for me. Not perfection. Just progress.
Yes, just progress.
If you want, you can listen to this episode one more time without reading the subtitles. It might feel harder at first, but it's actually very good for your English. Your brain starts to focus more on sounds, words, and meaning. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. You don't need to understand every word to improve. Even small understanding is progress. Just relax, listen, and trust the process. Thank you for spending your time with us and listening until the end. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this podcast and found it useful for your English, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continue and create more content like this. Take care of yourself, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.